Welcome back to Daybreak. The 4th of August 2014 marks 100 years since the outbreak of World War I.
Well, a series of charity concerts will mark the centenary, and in a moment we'll talk to tenor Russell Watson and veteran Simon Weston about those. First, our Gamal Fambula is at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire. Gamal, what else is planned for the anniversary?
Yes, a very good morning to you, Lorraine and Ada. The Armed Forces Memorial is now synonymous with remembrance because every year on the 11th of November, a service takes place here to remember those who were prepared to pay the ultimate price for their country. But it's not just our service personnel that have made the sacrifice. So behind every single one of these names is a family member that has lost a loved one, a husband, a wife, a son, a daughter, a mum, or a dad. And this year, on the 4th of August, a number of events will take place to commemorate the beginning of the First World War. They include a service at Glasgow Cathedral that will be attended by Her Majesty the Queen. Glasgow would by then finish the Commonwealth Games. And then across the country, flags will be flown at half-mast. And then finally, a vigil will take place at Westminster Abbey where a single candle will be extinguished at 11 p.m. to commemorate the start of the First World War. And then later on this year, woodlands will be planted to remember the 100th anniversary of the First World War. And then a song will be released. Let's have a listen.
And if the home fires keep on burning, if the old God plays the game, if London Bridge is falling down, if nothing stays the same.
Well, you can see him there, and Russell Watson is here now alongside Simon Weston from the Falkland War Veteran Foundation. That's a project that will receive part of the profits from the single. It is really good to see both of you.
Good morning.
And it's going to be a very, very emotional time, actually, isn't it? And it's a time to reflect and to remember.
It is a time to remember. It's a period, I think, of commemoration. I know there's been a lot of political furore about whether it's right or wrong to remember the First World War, but I think it's definitely right. And I certainly think that our young people should be introduced to what happened and the perils of war and just how many, you know, I mean, there was incredible losses during World War I. And I think we should remember that.
Absolutely, and not just those who fell and those who were wounded.
Yes.
Obviously, of course, we must remember them, but their families.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
The ones that
Gamal
were
was
left
talking
behind.
about the families that were there.
I think pretty much everybody that lives in the United Kingdom was affected at some point by the First World War, weren't they?
I think every family was touched because everybody committed something or somebody to it.
Yeah.
But, you know, the biggest thing about all of these organisations that have sprung up or the ones that exist today that have been since the First World War, it's about the injured, because the injured live the rest of their lives with their injuries. And there's no respite from that for a lot of them, and even the ones with the mental scars as well. And the families have to deal with all of that, and it's a big ask, so they do need an awful lot of support.
That's actually what we're raising funds for as well,
Yeah.
is rehousing our seriously injured heroes and actually tailor-making homes for them.
Right.
Just simple things that can actually change a person's life, like the widening of a door frame so that they can get into a bathroom with a wheelchair and turn 360 degrees. Can have a profound difference.
So the proceeds from the single go to 3 main charities, don't they, I think?
Yeah.
Yes, it's Hague House, Coming Home, and the Falkland Vets.
Yeah, Falklands Veterans Foundation. We have our own place down in the Falklands, but it needs upkeep, it needs maintaining to allow families and the extended family to be able to go and visit and do a pilgrimage to the war front where they were. Because when you have a look at it now in the modern conflicts, there's no way that the guys, their families, are ever going to be able to go to those war zones like Afghanistan or Iraq, because it's just way, way too dangerous.
Yeah.
And when they get settled, if they get settled ever, there may be some family members, but for us, we're very fortunate that the Falklands is still British, and the guys and their families are still able to go down and...
Do you know, that's such a good point, and that must be some comfort, I suppose, to actually... Do you find that when people go there and they're able to pay their respects there, they find some comfort from that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's so cathartic. It's, for a lot of them, it's therapeutic. It gives them that sense of release from their nightmares. An awful lot of guys suffered terrible PTSD from that time. They go back, they release themselves from the horrors of that time. So many guys feel so much better because of it. You
A
know,
lot of the lads that I've spoken to have said that they actually found closure by going back.
Right. So it's really, really important. It's really important to raise as
And
much money.
one
as
of my
possible.
friends, Steve, he fought in the Falklands, and he said when he went, it just felt so small. It didn't. He remembered it being huge, and when he went back,
it probably was when he walked across it.
Yes.
You put 80 pound on somebody's
I knew
back.
you were going to say something.
Also in freezing cold conditions as well.
It wasn't very
Exactly.
pleasant. We
No.
didn't walk it,
Exactly.
but for those that did.
Good luck with it.
Yes.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
And you've got
Thanks
the
very
Welsh
much.
Guards choir on there with you as
Yeah.
well.
Hello, lads. I can still drink more.
Seriously?
They won't be up by now.
Wow.
They're still getting over it.
Thank you both.
Yeah,
Thank
all
you
the best
very
with it.
much indeed. And good luck with all the concerts and the fundraising. Thank you.